Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode number 92. My name is Craig Prowlis, and joining me is the man about to hit the beach as soon as he can, Ranger Montemayor.
Hot girl summer, bro.
Ooh, it's good. It's actually, when I went outside this morning to go talk to Dante, it's like a perfect river day.
Dude, skies
like,
out,
no wind.
out
Yeah, that
sure.
sun was hot. I was like, ooh, bright.
It's definitely not 100, though. On the way here, it said it was like 97. I feel like it's 100, though.
Where are you guys going? You said in the valley, or?
Dude, I have no clue where it's at. I just had my cousin pinpoint her location. I was like, all right, cool. I'll see you in like an hour or two.
Nice. Send pics, bro. Bring a little, like a beer bong. Do some underwater ones. You ever do that? Go into like a river or the pool and do it?
No, that sounds pretty cool.
They're harder than it sounds. So, obviously, we like to drink beers around here, guys, and this is the Hop Valley Cryo Stash. This might be one of the highest percentage beers we've had. It's an 8.7. It's an IPA, which they've classified as an Imperial Double, and it is made in the Hop Valley Brewing Company. Now, first glance at this thing, Andrew, the can is, it's almost like something out of a 90s movie or a 90s video game, because even the name Cryo Stash sounds like something out of like Killer Instinct. Combo breaker. But I mean, tasting it though, I mean, it's actually I wouldn't say it's great, but it's not as bad as I initially thought it was going to taste based on its look.
See, I'll tell you why we think that it's good right now, or at least somewhat good. Because I'm over here reading the side of the can, and it's got our digits right here where it says bursting with tropical flavor and citrus. And I feel like all the IPAs that we've liked have been like the tropical citrusy ones, and we don't even read them. Like when we get, like, we'll find it out afterwards that, oh, okay, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
because I'll just I just grab whatever sounds good. So
yeah, because I was telling him, my grandma now, because she knows we do the show, when she goes out, she'll go out and she'll just find random beers. So she actually got these for us, and I doubt she's reading the side of it going, oh yeah, the boys like citrus flavored IPAs. So she just picks one, and then, you know, we put them on the show here and there. And
I'm pretty sure she only grabbed it because it said 8.2. She's like, all right, blackout and don't call me.
Yeah, let's fuck these kids up. So if you guys have a beer at home, drink along with us. And if you want to recommend a beer, leave it down in the comments below. And if we can find it in our area, we will add it to the show. So before we move any further, guys, take a moment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, jump in the comments, leave a comment, and interact with everyone that writes down there. There's a lot of people that like to talk and things like that in the comments. If you can, follow us on all the social medias that you see pop up here. There's also a big link in the description. It'll take you to all of those if you want to. And if you're listening to the audio version only of the podcast, do us a favor, leave a kind review, because word of mouth is really the only way we're going to get bigger. And we are getting bigger. I mean, we're almost at that 3,000 mark, so we can't do that without you guys, and we super appreciate that.
I'll tell you right now, if you're listening to the audio one today, you might want to check the video at some point.
Oh, he's dropping hints. So before we get into our big stories, we like to say, what are you up to? We like to see what we've been doing, what we've been playing, what we've been watching, if we've had any trips or family activities going on. So I have been gone. If you watched our last episode, I was in Mexico for a week and California for 2 days. So I didn't really get a chance to play or watch too much, but I ended up watching this. The channel on YouTube is called The Gameumentary, and there's this older lady on that plays Skyrim, and she loves it. Her name is Shirley Curry, and everyone calls her Grandma. And it's like a 20-30 minute documentary. The documentary is called Shirley Curry. What's this funny name to say? Shirley Curry, the Gaming Grandma, and it kind of explores her channel, how she started, how she went from having like a few hundred followers to blowing up. I believe she's in the Guinness Book of World Record for being the, I don't know if it's necessarily the oldest gamer, but I think she's the oldest gamer with the most video content. And it's actually really cool. And one of the sad parts is, like, she's like, in the beginning, people would like troll her comment section, and
that's sad.
One of them was like, I used to play games until I broke my hip, or I took an arrow in the hip or something like that. They were dogging on her, but the more people watched it and explored it, she says now that now she doesn't get any trouble and things like that. So if you want to check it out and you're a big fan of Skyrim, I would say look at it. It's not that long, and as far as playing goes, again, I couldn't play much, so I brought my Nintendo Switch with me to Mexico, and I really just played the new Pokemon Snap. I got pretty far in it. I don't think, maybe I'm done. I've hit in like 7-8 places, and I've done the Illumina stuff, so I think I'm getting somewhat close to the end, but that was really about all I could squeeze in for the week. How about yourself?
Me, actually, I watched A&E's Stone Cold Steve Austin documentary. I thought it was pretty cool. And then I watched part of the Ultimate Warrior one. I didn't finish that one. But those A&E documentaries have been like pretty cool, especially with like all the classic like legacy wrestling stuff. I actually have family down now, so that's why I'm going to the river right after this. I just went to the lake yesterday, spending all day out in the sun, so it's been pretty nice.
You have a CSA?
Yeah, I went to Lake Havasu yesterday.
Nice.
But as far as what I'm playing, I finished RE8. So I went through. I didn't 100% it. I'm missing one achievement, but I don't think I'm going to do it because it's just really annoying.
What is it?
It's for the Mercenaries, which is a side game that you have to do, where you're pretty much just running and gunning the whole time. And it's based on like how fast you can do it and keeping your combos up. So like if you don't know the enemy spawn placement and stuff like that, it's hard to get through and figure out where the fuck they are because it's kind of on a bigger map sometimes. Or there's like a little bird that or a crow that might be a part of it that you're supposed to kill, and so if you're missing an enemy, that hurts your points too. And I was like, fuck this, dude, I don't want to, because it's not even just beat every level, or if it was at least get like a B or something, it's get an S, even though the highest rank is SSS. But I did the first one, and I ran through, kept the combo, did everything, and all that stuff, and I got like an A. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fucking annoying. I don't want to do whatever.
You want to S all of them?
All 8 stages. And the first 4 I've read aren't that bad, but it's the second 4 that are, because then there's like, you're refighting bosses from the game and stuff like that that's in there, and I'm like, dude, that's really annoying. Especially because it's time-based too. So it's not like you're using your weapons from the game either. You can upgrade some of your shit, but you're just getting whatever weapons happen to be there. Plus, it's all random too. There's bonuses and stuff that you get, and so if you're not getting a good perk right off the bat, then that like hurts your overall too.
Bummer. Yeah, I hate when they tie in things like that aren't game core related, and it's always like these add-ons that they do that really nobody wants to do, but if you want 100% it, now you have to do. It's always kind of lame.
Right. I only did one of the achievements for it, which was get like a 30 kill combo, and even that I was running around it. It took me like 3 tries. I'm not remembering where people are fucking spawning at, and still you're just like racing the clock, and I actually wasn't getting the good like bonus placements to where it was like the shotgun, which was I was primarily using, or the speed. It was all like knife stuff or blocking stuff. And I'm like, well, fuck, man, I can't do anything with that.
Well, fuck me. So, guys, leave in the comments down below what you've been watching, what you've been playing. If you have any recommendations or you just want to tell us what you've been up to, feel free to do so, because we love checking out other things. So, with that being down and out of the way, let's move into our first main story, and that is that the most recent State of Play just came out, and Sony let us know that it was fully Guerrilla Games focused, Horizon Forbidden West. So we have E3 coming around the corner, and Jeff Keighley's Summer of Games and all that, but Sony's kind of notorious for not doing E3s and stuff anymore, so we are going to see a lot bigger footage closer to that. But the State of Plays are what? Generally one a quarter, give or take. And this one they wanted to solely focus on Forbidden West. So the video itself, you can watch on YouTube, the link is in the description, is 14 minutes of new gameplay, and at the end they had a big recap by Ben McCaw, which is the narrative director for Guerrilla Games, and I believe I'm saying his name right, Mathis De Jong, and he's the game director. And this thing shows off a lot of kind of the new features of what the game's going to be doing, and it shows off a little scene. So I'll read this article, and this is from the PlayStation blog. Again, the link will be in the description if you guys want to read the whole thing, but it says this. In the State of Play gameplay footage, Aloy has sent her loyal friend Aaron into the remains of San Francisco to recover an important artifact, but he quickly runs into trouble, encountering a rebel faction of the Tenakith tribe, vicious fighters who have somehow acquired the power to override machines. Aloy must cross the ruins and fight multiple enemies to rescue her friend and continue her journey. And then it goes on to kind of showcase what the game showed that the first one didn't. So it goes on to say, this dangerous and unfamiliar land is full of challenges and threats, but Aloy will have new tools to help her on her way. The Polecaster speeds up climbing, getting her quickly out of trouble. The Shield Wing allows her to safely descend from great heights or surprise enemies from above. And with the Diving Mask, a whole new underwater world is open for exploration. Not to mention big upgrades to her Focus, which now shows areas that allow free climbing and gives her the ability to override more machines for mounts and combat. Andrew, you saw the 14-minute trailer. You saw the new gadgets and kind of exploration it's going to do, the underwater. What was your initial thoughts? Hey, were you blown? Were you blown away?
No, I mean it's a gorgeous game. Like I'll definitely give it that.
And again, let's keep in mind, it was all captured, but they showed it was on the PS5.
Yeah.
So it looked crispy. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it was definitely a beautiful game. I think the underwater part of it was the best. I feel like it kind of went on like a little bit too long, especially because a lot of it is her like hiding in the grass and kind of like doing whatever. That it's like, okay, like I'll do that when I play it. Like, why are you showing me this? Especially because it's stuff from the first. Like, you know, get along. And I wonder if maybe my view of this was a little tinted because I actually watched the other stuff we're going to cover today, like the Dying Light 2 and the Far Cry 6 previews first, which are like crazy action packed. Mm-hmm. And then I watched this, which was like a big dial back.
Right, a little
but
slow down.
I think it is an absolutely gorgeous game, though. One of the things I actually really like the most, and I always love like small little details in games, but when she was getting like hit and like knocked into the fucking sand, it's not very often you see in a game when someone gets like hit down like that you see the dirt and the sand like kind of come up into the air and stuff.
Cool, yeah,
and so I was like, oh, okay, you know, like little particle effects and stuff. Like every little step like that is cool. But I thought that big, I don't know what they call it. It's like a storm rider or something, like the big elephant thing.
The mammoth thing that it was riding.
Yeah, that thing was like badass too. So I thought it looks good, but I'm also wasn't like crazy about the first one. It didn't like. I don't know if this game like jumps out to me. I can definitely understand who it would jump out to, and it's weird too because this game kind of does things that I like. Like I love dinosaurs, and the fact that there's like robotic dinosaurs.
I like dinosaurs.
Like that in here. I love dinosaurs more than anything in the world. Like they're the best, and the fact that there's robotic, crazy, cool versions of them in here, and I'm still just like
Yeah, well, it was cool because I liked how their jaws were like kind of chainsaw, so they were still like moving around.
Yeah.
As I believe that thing we were talking about, the elephant, is called a tremor tusk. And it looks really cool. I liked it. I mean, so the game's taking place 6 months after the original. If you guys haven't played the original, definitely go check it out. I'd say it's a killer app. It's a reason for buying a PlayStation. And I would say that this game, and you know, maybe outside of God of War, which is still debatable if it's even coming out this year, I would say this is probably the most anticipated game of the year, at least for me. I mean, obviously this
if it comes out this year, because we got no release date or any sort of period.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out by the end of the year, but I like what they're diving into, and I like what they're exploring and expanding upon, especially the travel, because if you play the original, it is a big game that you can go around, but the fact that they're adding now like kind of like the Assassin's Creed climbing system to go and explore is really cool. I really dig that shield wing.
That was actually really cool.
They do a perfect job of blending like almost Primal Tribe like functionality, but with this, you know, future tech.
Yeah.
And it's really badass. The fact that she now has the spear is really cool, but that shield wing is dope. And I want to know exactly, you know, if they explain what that is that actually, you know, lets her kind of glide through it. But I think Andrew was alluding to it earlier. The underwater is absolutely stunning, and the fact that now it just gives two worlds to explore now, the up above land and now the underwater. And we were watching it actually before we recorded, and I'm like, we're getting to that point where underwater levels are no longer going to be the dreaded levels. They're no longer going to be the chore to play, because like Andrew was pointing out when we were watching, like you can just see the current and moving in one way and the fish going the other way. So I'm curious of how much that's actually going to be in the game versus a part of the game. But overall, it looks absolutely gorgeous, absolutely stunning. So Andrew watched it last after watching the action-packed one. I watched it first, so for me, everything kind of ramped up. I think it was maybe 14 minutes too long. I think you probably could have told what you needed to tell in 8 minutes, but I guess they were doing that quest. So I guess that quest took about 14 minutes for her to get from A to B and save the guy. But if it's a game you guys are looking forward to, then you're in good company, because I got a feeling this will probably be game of the year. I mean, I'll call it right now. If God of War Ragnarok does not come out this year, and this does, then I'm going to say Horizon's probably going to be game of the year.
Right now for me, Resident Evil 8's actually my game of the year. That game's fucking fantastic. But I think the only thing that could have made this, like, and maybe what I didn't like too, is there's no release date again, and you wouldn't even have to give me a release date. I understand with COVID and stuff like that, but you could have a guesstimation: winter 2021, spring 2022. But actually, more importantly, what they did show, and it's already been kind of confirmed beforehand, but it's all loose talk, whatever, is that this is going to be on PS4.
Which I don't know. I feel it's kind of a bummer. I want. I mean, obviously I don't have a PS5 yet. I'm looking to get one, so I'll play it on the PS4 if I don't have one by then. But I was kind of hoping, give me a game that's meant for the PS5, that doesn't need to be scaled down for other platforms, even though it's their own. But I was really hoping it's a PS5 title. But I guess, no issues. Because when you're watching it on that thing, you can tell that that's PS5. Like, that looks great. I mean, that blows the original one completely out of the water. But the fact that it is on PS4, obviously they want to capitalize on the market buy of who's going to be able to have access to it.
Right.
But if they do go into a trilogy, which I think that's their plan to, is make it at least 3 or 4 games, I would assume the next one would be platform exclusive to the PS5. And I would hope that's the direction they move.
If you can get one by then.
If you can get one by then. I got eyes out there. I got a couple people on the hunt for those. So anything else you want to add on Horizon Forbidden West or the State of Play?
Nah, ready for the next one.
All right, guys. So if you have any thoughts on it, leave it down below. If we missed anything, if there's something you caught that maybe we didn't that you want to explore, let us know. So our next story is because we got a bunch of gameplay and in-depth looks at, obviously, Horizon Forbidden West. But the next 2 things we want to talk about is Dying Light 2 and Far Cry 6. This all came out this week. We got bigger looks at them. So let's start with Dying Light 2, which is now being called, I think the full title is now Dying Light 2 Stay Human. This is developed and published by Techland, and it got an actual release date of December 7th. Now, this is a kind of a quick recap of it, and this article is from Polygon, and it says, Dying Light 2 Stay Human is bound for PlayStation 4, PS5, Windows PC, Xbox One, Series X. The sequel will send players to the city, described by Techland as mankind's last stronghold in the fight against the virus that turned the population of Haran into zombie-like creatures in Dying Light. The day-night cycle and parkour-inspired traversal of the original game will return in Dying Light 2. Players will take control of a new protagonist, Aiden Caldwell, who joins up with a group of survivors known as the Night Runners. And I really like the concept of them moving it to a new player and exploring that. And it really kind of showcases that the choices you're going to make are going to affect the game, because they really kind of highlighted that depending on what factions you kind of align yourself with, those are going to kind of mold your quest and how you're going to keep exploring. And it looks like it's not just 1 or 2, right? It's not just, is it A or B? But it looks like you're going to have at least several different choices to kind of explore options if you want to be more aggressive, more pacifist, more survivalist, and things like that. So it was a really good looking kind of behind the scenes of what it's going to do, because it had a guy talking over it, kind of going, in this we're going to be doing this, and this we're going to be doing this. So if anyone's a fan of the original Dying Light, I think we need more games like this. Like, there's only a few games that really utilize a day-night cycle, and there's only a few that do it in a horror aspect. And it's one of the things that made this game shine, because I'm not a big horror guy, but I loved Dying Light, and the fact that everything you see in this one is just showing that they're improving on it, I'm interested in. The different factions look fantastic, and the parkour system looks even better than the original, which was great. But I know, Andrew, I don't want to say you weren't a fan of the original one, but I know you didn't dive into it. So looking at number 2, does it change your mind at all? Do you want to now jump into it and maybe give it a go, or revisit number 1?
I was gonna say, oddly enough, Craig actually really liked this game. I didn't.
I thought this would be completely up your alley. I know your alleys.
I started the first one, and for some reason it just did not grip me. I just didn't like it, and I was like, I don't think I'll go back and play the first one, but I think I will. I think I will just jump straight into this one. But I do like, as to what you're saying, is they're taking what they've already done that's good, and they're doubling down on it, because one, not only is there a day-night cycle, but now they've added to it to improve it as well too, because they've said that during the day, when the zombies are all out and about doing kind of whatever, or not during the day, during the night when the stronger creatures come out, if you can get into their nest, you'll find better loot and stuff down there, and that's kind of that risk reward for, during the day, if you try to go down there, that's where all the strong shit's going to be, but you can try to sneak down there when they're all out hunting or whatever, and that's if you can dodge them in the first place. So I thought that was actually the coolest part of the thing, is just because I don't know, in my head I was like, all right, well, I don't know, we can really improve upon the day and night perspective, but now seeing something like that, that's something super interesting I didn't even think of.
Yeah, explore one place in the day where the humans are awake guarding one thing, but at night it's going to be the stronger zombies guarding it. So it's like, well, which way do you want to tackle it? Because one of the things they're kind of expressing is that you're going to have more options in terms of like the tactician way you're going to approach the game. I do say one of the gripes I had with it is, in a game like this, I want to see the level up system. I want to see the skill tree, because one of the interesting things they had in number 1 was if you did more parkour things, you get skill points in that. If you did more melee fighting, you get points in that. And the other big thing is that you make your own weapons. And Dying Light, Last of Us 2 came out. There was a whole 10-minute video on the fucking workbench in a game where it's just pistols and shotguns. I want to see what creative weapons we can see in this game where the crafting system actually matters, and you can use like UAV lights and things like that. You're gonna make Molotov cocktails. You're gonna equip these different guns. So I wish they would have showed. And we have time. Again, this game comes out on December 7th. I'm sure somewhere around September, October, when fall creeps in, we're gonna see the final push for it. But I want to see what the workbench looks like, and I really want to see how they're gonna do the skill tree. And because one of the main things is like, develop your guy how you want it. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And it shows it.
Well, we're not going to show you how it's done.
It didn't explain what you can do to customize. I want to know what I want to know if there's 3 builds for a melee fighter. I want to know if there's 3 builds for the crafter. So I'm hoping by the time we get the next one, that's what they're going to focus on, because I think they did a great job showcasing everything else.
Yeah, I thought this was a good one. This one was pretty fun to watch.
Let's see. Anything else on Dying Light 2 that you want to go over?
Not ready to go on to Far Cry.
Okay, so Far Cry 6, guys, the game that should have been out by now, 8 months ago.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's so weird to think about that, because we could have been playing it, and it got the 8-month delay push. Obviously, COVID was probably a part of that, but again, Ubisoft needs, they're known for making these big kind of tentpole games, and I have no issue when a game this big, and especially with this kind of cast, needs the time, 8 months. So it actually got a release date of being October 7th. Now this is actually developed by Ubisoft Toronto, and obviously being published by Ubisoft. And let's see here. So the quick synopsis is this. Far Cry 6 is set in Yara, a fictional version of Cuba where you'll control Danny Rojas, and you can make the protagonist either a male or female. I believe this one just showed
off the female.
The female, but there is gameplay out there that will show the guy if you guys are interested in that. And so the revolutionaries with whom Danny is aligned adopt the Cuban philosophy of resourcefulness called Resolver, which means to get by. They use anything they can to their advantage, which means you'll get to wield some ridiculous do-it-yourself weapons. Among them are guns that harness sardine cans, batteries and motorcycle engines. Best of all, there's a deadly CD launcher that plays Los Del Rios Macarena. This game, obviously this is the one we saw early in the year where it's kind of that dictatorship, which is ran by Anton Castillo, which is being, pretty much embodied by Giancarlo Esposito, and he's kind of showing his son Diego what it takes to rule a country with an iron fist. Now the beauty, because I recently, I beat Far Cry 3, 4, 5, New Dawn, Primal's next on my list. But usually when you play these games, and I believe even in 1 and 2, you're generally an outsider. You're someone that either kind of falls into this land,
you have no stake,
or even in number 5, you're a cop going into this territory, and you're always kind of an outsider looking in. This one, you're actually playing someone that lives there, that's actually part of this resistance. And the other cool thing, I believe this is the first time they've done it, is the gameplay is all first person, but they're finally making third-person cutscenes, so you can see your character react. So it's never, the cutscenes aren't just, looking at from the POV. You actually get to see your character engage, which is really cool, because that means they took their time to make 2 different models that stand out and let you play these cutscenes and kind of explore. So I really liked it. So without diving further, Andrew, what was your first impression of seeing the newest trailer for Far Cry 6 and the gameplay?
I actually don't like, whatever reason, the fact that they have a Ubisoft original game under the thing. I don't know why that bugs me.
I didn't get that, yeah.
And I'm like, obviously it's a fucking Ubisoft original game. Like, I don't understand the need for that. It feels like
maybe one of the developers in the past have never been, maybe it's been multiple teams. Maybe it hasn't been Ubisoft solely, maybe, you know what I mean? But
I don't know, but I know when they announced that before, I was like, okay, it's kind of like whatever, but now like seeing it, I'm like, it just feels like you're stroking your own ego. But besides that, I actually really like the gameplay that they showed here. It actually really made you seem like a freedom fighter. You're not just using whatever the best of the guns are. Like he's talking about, you're putting together like a sardine can.
MacGyver.
At one point, she has like a minigun, but it's put together with like a motorcycle engine, and that's what's fueling it as you're like shooting and killing everything. So of course you can still play stealthily. I think actually one of my favorite things though that they showed off was you can have like your little animal companions or whatever, but you have like a handicapped dog that doesn't have back legs, but it's got like a wheel cart attached to it, and he carries your tools and stuff like that for you to, I don't know if he carries your weapons or what else, but he's got like a little tool belt on him, and he follows you around.
Chorizo.
And his name is Chorizo, and I don't know why, I just thought that was like the coolest part.
Yeah, because one of the selling points is, or at least one of the cooler aspects in Far Cry games, is that you get the gangs. I think it's like gangs for hire, where you can so when you start beating missions, you can acquire people so if you're playing it single player, you can have a secondary person follow you and help you out in missions. But then they do Fangs for Hire, which is when you can go unlock animals. So Chorizo seems to be the first one they're going to show off as being kind of a decoy, right? It was kind of like the little dog that would walk up to a guard and, smile at him and cry at him, and then you go up and fucking decapitate him.
But they did also show off like an alligator wearing like a Hawaiian shirt or something.
Because in the past you get, and I believe like in 3 and 5, you get like a bear, a dog, and things like that. So it's really cool that they're keeping that with it. I do got to say though, so one of our buddies at work at GameStop, we and him had a bet that, and because this was in circulation too, or a lot of speculatory conversation was, a lot of people thought Diego was going to be Voss, right?
So this is going to be a prequel.
And Ubisoft, I don't want to say confirmed, but they've stated that it's not. I mean, there could always be, I guess, a surprise twist ending that it is. But we've got like a 12-pack bet, and I watched a couple episodes ago because I think I brought it up then too. So now that we're getting closer and closer, I can taste those suds. And so that's a bet that I'm glad that I'm almost positive that I'm going to win. But Andrew, anything else on this? I mean, it comes out in October, so we got a little time until it comes out. But I mean, I think it looks great. I mean, it is a Far Cry game in every sense of the meaning, and I like the new interpretation of being an actual local person that's fighting the corrupt government.
You have a cause and a stake in this war or whatever. No, actually, that's what I really liked about it too. I think this is the one I'm most excited for. It seemed to really kind of nail that vibe. Like, I'm a revolutionary trying to do whatever for what I believe in, but again, you're a one-man army, so you're kind of doing it yourself with the aid of some people, give or take. So I really like this one a lot, so this is the game I'm pretty hyped for.
Yeah, I know some people have been having...
It'll be my first Far Cry.
Oh, really? You never dove into the series at all?
Nope.
Ooh.
I think I kind of played, is 2 the one where you get, malaria?
I never played 1 or 2, because 2 is the one I think... if I remember right, the covers, you're on the beach, and you're the dude that's like... I never played 1 or 2. 3 was my first entry into the series.
I think I kind of played 2 is... but so other than that, I haven't played any of them since then.
I would say jump into 3 or 5. I think you'll really enjoy either of those.
I'll just wait.
I know, but I do want to mention this though, because I know there's been, I don't want to say backlash, but at least some controversy that some people were thinking that this game is poking fun at Cuba and their lifestyle and what their circumstances are. And I think they came out with an article or at least a response saying, we're not, we're just taking things that exist in real time and putting a different fictional spin on it.
Yeah, definitely does not come across as like a parody.
Yeah, just taking
their
a story. I didn't take any of it as a jab or anything that was disrespectful. So I just kind of want to point it out because I know IGN just had a big article. If you guys want to read it, you can go check them out. But I know that was some of the controversy that it had after this latest trailer, because now that one explores more of the towns and what they're going through. So so that is the end of that one, guys. If you have any comment or thought on it, leave it in the comments down below. So let's move into a little ripping it up. Andrew, what do you got on your plate today for riffs? Hey, feed me, baby bird.
So, according to a statement the other day from CD Projekt Red, they still have no clue when Cyberpunk is going to go back on the PlayStation Store. And now that's crazy to think. I thought that game had already came back up on the PlayStation Store months ago, but it is still taken down. You still cannot purchase it, which I think is absolutely insane. And again, they said they have no clue when it will be back up, and PlayStation also said, no, we're not sure when it's going to be back on there either, so there's no definitive answer. So it seems like if you want to play it, I don't know if you can even get that game on disc for Playstation. I don't know if that's something they halted.
Right, yeah, they stopped
did something like that too, so it looks like you got to play it on Xbox or PC.
Yeah, because, I mean, I didn't. It's weird to think how long ago that game actually came out, was how long it took for us to get it, because that was in your Game of the Year for 2020. So this game is
trying to think of when it came out.
It's been off of Sony for 6 months now. So it's only been half a year since Cyberpunk 2077 came out. Like, that's kind of crazy to think, because I still feel like it was yesterday.
Dude, imagine that lost revenue.
Dude, well, surprisingly enough, Cyberpunk is still successful.
Well, yeah.
It still did well, and I believe, so I'm reading here, is that the only thing that I think you can even find on the Sony store is still the link for refunds. So if you're still looking to get your refund for buying it on Sony, you can still get that. But yeah, it's crazy, because that development cycle took forever, and we got the most, at least on our opinion, we played played a good one, but an undercooked game that a lot of people was literally unplayable. And the fact that Sony, I mean, I don't know, how do you look at it? Do you think it's obviously I think it's fair, but do you think it's a good idea for them to stand still on this and not move, that they're still not even allowing it for you to digital purchase?
I hope it sends a message to everybody else about trying to pull something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Don't make your games gold if it's going to fucking crack the moment it comes out. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm rooting on Sony. I got their back on it. I understand why they're doing it.
I think it was definitely a very fair call.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't had a chance to play Cyberpunk 27, play it on a Series X because you shouldn't have as many issues. And a lot of that stuff's patched by now. So that's the other kind of questioning thing. They're still blocking it, even though a lot of that stuff is cleaned up.
Maybe it's because they can't get the PS4 version running right, but only the PS5 version. Maybe I wonder if that's what has to play into it too. Because again, that game was known to run better on next gen consoles than last gen. I didn't really have any issues playing it at all. So
yeah, so check it out. Let us know what you guys think about that. I think it's a bold gambit. So my riff, guys, is that there's a store in Vegas about an hour away from us called Torpedo Comics. We go there all the time. We get our books signed. We meet a lot of artists. I don't know if this is their first official because I've never heard of it.
No, they did one last year.
They did it last year. Okay, so they're doing what's called Torpedo Con, and that is going to be a collective 3-day run that does comic book signings, CGC gradings. They're actually doing, would you call it CGC for the game boxing? You can grade your video game. Like if you have a video game, you can go there, get it CGC'd. They're actually selling them there, so it's going to be a pretty good convention. Andrew and I are planning on going to this thing, and it is going to be in Los Angeles on July 23rd through the 25th, but tickets are going to go on sale June 1st. So if you guys are interested in it, check it out. Make sure you guys check the website. But
let us know. Maybe we'll meet up with you.
Actually, that would be pretty cool. If any of you guys are actually going to it, let us know, assuming we get tickets. But the headliners, because what they've been doing is slow rolling it over Instagram, I think week by week of what big comic book guys are going to be there. Lineup. Yeah, so this is who's actually going to be there if you guys are interested in getting any of these books signed, because we do like talking about comic books around here. You got Brian Azzarello, Nick Spencer, Frank Cho, Mark Brooks, Bill Sienkiewicz, and that's the guy you're looking for.
That's the main one that I am looking forward to.
Jim Lee, Donnie Cates, and the one I really want to go.
Although now I got to find something for
is Frank Miller, because I've got some of those Batmans. Because again, we go to the Torpedo Comics. We met Brian Azzarello and Mark Brooks and Jim Lee and Donnie Cates. But it's for me it's the Frank Miller. For you, it's the Bill Sienkiewicz. And it's really cool. So if you guys are interested in it, check it out. Or if you're living in the LA area, it's gonna be right in your neck of the woods. So I thought that was a really cool thing to do, and the fact it just kind of shows that we're getting kind of over the COVID thing. But this is gonna have a maximum capacity. I mean, this isn't gonna be wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder. It's probably gonna be, I don't know, what would you guess? Maybe I don't know how big
5,000.
I don't know how big the Hollywood Palladium is. So I don't know what its max occupancy is. So, but I would assume they half it, whatever it is.
Yeah, I have no clue.
So anyway, guys, if you guys are interested in it, again, tickets go on sale June 1st, and it will run through July 23rd to 25th. And if you go, hit us up because we would like to play.
I was just about to say that.
So let's move into questions of the week, guys. And we got one today we're going to answer. And this comes from Vivek Joshi Pro. And they write, I am trying N64 games by N64 emulator on Android and played many of them. Can you tell me any awesome N64 games? Because these are small in size but very nostalgic. What'd you come up with? Did you come up with games or game?
I got a game, so I would say. Well, I mean, there's all kinds of games on there,
But you gotta find things that work on an emulator. You don't want to throw things that are going to be doing multiple C button functions, joystick and D-pad with it. I mean, if you're playing on an emulator, I would assume it'd be something that's cozy and comfortable, that's not going to override you touching a touchscreen.
If you're playing on an emulator, I played it on an emulator too for a little bit, but I never ended up beating it. I would actually say Paper Mario, because that came out on the 64. It's the first one that actually took that paper aesthetic away from before, what is it, the Legend of the Seven Stars. So it's the sequel to Super Mario RPG, prequel obviously to the Thousand Year Door, which is the one more people go towards, which is for the GameCube. I thought it was still really good. It ran really good when it was on my phone. That, and it's a turn-based combat game like Final Fantasy and stuff like that. So that way you're not having to it's not based on running and gunning like GoldenEye or something like that where you need precise movements or whatever. So that would actually run really good probably on an emulator. So I'd recommend that.
Yeah, so and again, I was thinking of games that would probably run best on an emulator. And one of them I would just think is the on-rails game Pokemon Snap. You're literally not moving around the joystick in terms of running. It's just going to be camera directional, an A/B to throw your apple, and what was the other thing you could do?
Like the smoke ball thing?
Yeah, the smoke ball thing, and then take a picture. So if you haven't played that, I would say that would probably be a very easy game to play on a touchscreen. Because I don't know if you're playing on a phone or a tablet, but, because again, you got to keep in mind functionality of the controls. Because the N64, for all of its glory, is still an odd controller in terms of functionality with where the buttons are placed. So if you're going to play something that works smoothly, I would say the on-rails game of Pokemon Stop, very little to it with a lot to enjoy. So I hope that answers your question. If you found anything that was better, or if anybody watching this has a recommendation, leave it in the comments down below. So that is the end of our episode, guys. I just want to give a shout out for everyone. We had a big influx of subscribers. I know a lot of it was due to our giveaway, because we did just give away a Nintendo Switch Lite. So that was the winners, were the Pokemon Squad. And again, guys, we are going to be sending that to you ASAP. But for all those new to the channel, or, were mad maybe they didn't win, I would say stick around, because we do have another big giveaway coming. And if you stick around, that's the only way you're going to win it. So, guys, more details on that will come down the line. But Andrew, that is the end of this episode. You have fun?
Oh yeah,
you gotta go hit this river now, huh?
Dude, hot girl bummer, summer, skies out, thighs out. We're ready.
So
to be
guys,
out there.
Until next time, my name is Craig Prowse. That is Mandrew Montemare. Cheers.
See ya.
No. Yeah. Although I did have a lot of good Mexican drinks on there.
I have been to Mexico. I went once when I was a kid. I think I've been like twice. I remember the first time we went. I specifically remember because my dad told us not to drink the water. Don't drink it yet because we have to cheers for it first.
I know, I don't smell it.
But I remember trying to sleep in this house, but I was like a kid. So I think I had to have been at least between. I don't think I was. I would say 8 or younger. Mm-hmm. Maybe 9's like pushing it. So, when you're a kid, like, you're afraid of, like, bugs and shit like that. And the house that we stayed at, I remember that there was, like, a fucking outhouse in the back, and that's the bathroom. Ugh. And, like, the house was back full of, like, cockroaches and, like, spiders.
Was it a family house or something?
Okay. I think so. And,
you gotta go again now that you're older. Enjoy it.
I remember going, I think I went and slept in the back of the car instead.
Ooh, for the whole trip? Was it just, like, a day? 2 days, a week?
I don't even remember how long. That's like the only part of it I remember. I don't know. Because I remember we went to go again, and it was after my dad had gotten his like camper trailer thing that we used to go camping in all the time. But when he was backing out of my grandmother's house, he fucking he accidentally hit some other dude's car. And so we ended up having to turn back around. And what's funny too is I really didn't want to go to Mexico because of the last time we had gone. I still had like remembered that, and I was like, dude, this is gonna suck. And I just wanted to stay and hang out with my cousins and stuff like that. That it was weird that he hit that car, because then we ended up having to go back there to stay with my cousins anyway. So I got what I wanted.
Yeah, because when I went there, dude, we were going to a bunch of different cool little spots, and like it was kind of weird. I was like, dude, I don't think I drank water like once when I was down there. It was just like every time we went to a restaurant, it was like a different beer or like a different drink or something. But the house we were at had like 2 like badass kind of bedrooms. Each one had like a closet, a nice stand-up shower. It was right on the beach. So you need to do a new trip of going down there and actually enjoying it as an adult, because I was kind of nervous too, leaving like my window open at night, because I'm like, I don't want nothing crawling in there. But I didn't see, like, I saw like one bug maybe the whole time I was there. It was like a little like flying fucking thing, and that was just through the door. But even like these dogs next door would come over in the morning, and like we'd give them like beef jerky. Like even though they were clean and shit.